Well, hello, my valued listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Living in Your Power. I'm your host, Dr. Martin Greenleaf, and as always, I am truly grateful that you are here with me as we close out our February series. This month, we've been grounded in our theme, Leading with Heart, Compassion, Courage, and Connection. We've explored what it means to lead with compassion, to set boundaries with integrity, and to protect our emotional well-being while still showing up fully for others. Now, today's episode brings all of that together. In this final episode for our February series, it is titled Courageous Leadership that honors the whole person. Now, when we think about courage, we often picture bold statements, decisive actions, or public moments of strength. But in leadership, courage is often much quieter and much more personal. Courage shows up when you choose integrity over convenience. When you speak truth with kindness, and when you honor people beyond their productivity. Courageous leadership doesn't require you to dominate or control. It requires you to remain grounded in who you are, even when it would be easier to conform. Now, Joshua 1:9 reminds us to be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Courage, my dear listeners, begins with trust. Not in your own ability, but in God's guidance. Now, honoring the whole person, it means recognizing that people are more than their roles, titles, or output, because they bring experiences, emotions, strengths and struggles, and values and faith. So, in my own leadership journey, I've learned that people thrive when they feel respected, when they feel heard, and when they feel valued. Not just evaluated. Jesus consistently honored the whole person because he saw past labels. He met people where they were, and he restored dignity before addressing behavior. So, courageous leadership does the same. It resists reducing people to numbers or performance metrics and instead asks the question, who is this person becoming? And how can I support that growth with wisdom and care? Now, here are 3 ways courageous leadership can show up in your daily life. Now, first, we want to lead with truth and grace together, because truth without grace can feel harsh, and grace without truth can feel unclear. So, courageous leaders hold both, speaking honestly while remaining compassionate. Now, the second one is to create spaces where people can be human. Listen, people don't need perfection. They need permission to be real, to be their genuine self. And whether you're leading a team, a family, or yourself, allow space for honesty, rest, and growth. Now, the third and final, I want you to model the leadership you hope to see. Your examples set the tone. So, when you honor your boundaries, when you practice self-care, and lead with empathy, you give others permission to do the same. So now let's anchor this episode in Romans 12:10, which says, "Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves." Honoring others does not mean neglecting yourself. In fact, it means leading from humility, respect, and faith. So here's your empowerment quote for this week, your empowerment prompt, for this week. I want you to take time to reflect on these questions. Where is God calling me to lead with greater courage? And how can I honor the whole person, including myself, in my leadership? How would change if I trusted that compassion and courage can coexist? So I'm going to repeat those again for you. I want you to take time to reflect on these questions. Where is God calling me to lead with greater courage? How can I honor the whole person, including myself, in my leadership? And what would change if I trusted that compassion and courage can coexist? So I want you to sit with these questions prayerfully and let your clarity unfold gently as you respond to these questions. So my dear listeners, I want you to remember that courageous leadership is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the truest. It's about being the most genuine, being your most genuine self. And when you lead with heart, guided by faith and wisdom, you create spaces where people can grow, heal, and thrive, including yourself. So I want to thank you, dear listeners, for walking with me through our February series, Leading with Heart, Compassion, Courage, and Connection. And next month, we'll step into a new theme and continue building leadership that is rooted, resilient, and aligned. So thank you again for joining me in this episode and this series on living in your power. And until next time, dear listeners, you know the drill. I want you to continue to live boldly in your power today. And if it gets tough, just breathe. You still got the strength to rise. So until next time, continue to live in your power.